Hi, Karen with you today. Thank you so much for joining me. I have a scrapbook layout for Kitaholic Kits and I'm using the June 2022 kit. And have you ever created a layout based on just one piece of ephemera or just one piece of a collection? Well, that's where I started from with this layout today. I knew as soon as I saw that gorgeous film strip on the left-hand side of the screen there, I knew that was going to be my jumping off point for a layout this month. And it is absolutely gorgeous. Those greens and the blues are just perfect for where I wanted to go with my layout today. I'm going a little bit mixed media heavy today as well, and I'm using one of the stencils from the mixed media kit, and this is from the Sweet Rush collection as well. There's gorgeous wave shapes. Vicky Booten really hits the mark every time with her stencils. They're fantastic in all of her collections. I have pre-gessoed my white cardstock. I have a pile of pre-gessoed white cardstock at my desk, so I've always got some ready to go. And I'm using some Distress Oxide here to give some definition of the colours. And I've tried to get them as close as the colours as I possibly can with the Sweet Rush collection. And the colours that I'm using today, that top colour there, that greeny yellowy colour is Twisted Citron. The green is Evergreen Bough, which is gorgeous, and it's a bit of a chalky sort of feel to it as well. And the blue I am using, I think it's Blue Ribbon. Yeah, it's Blue Ribbon, which is one of the newish ones that Tim Holtz brought out late last year or earlier this year. It's a beautiful colour blue, and I thought that was just perfect accompaniment to that film strip piece, my jumping off point. I used the packaging technique. I just snapped down my ink pads onto my desk, added a little bit of water and popped it onto some packaging and just smushed that on the page. So nice and simple for that one. If you don't do a lot of mixed media, I recommend giving that packaging technique a little bit of a go. It is a really simple way to get a watercolor effect on your page, and you really can't get it wrong. It just particularly if you use some gesso, you can wipe it up. If you do put it into a spot that you don't really like, but yeah, it's a great way just to get some colour on the page. So you'll see here now the layout is starting to sort of frame up into a bit of a, I guess it's almost like a triangle here. So the longer edge of the triangle is on the vertical and going out to that point on the right hand side of the page. Now, to complete my layers underneath all that photo, I grabbed a whole heap of the cut apart sheets and also some of the tags as well that are in the ephemera pack. I really loved the feel and the look of the ones that look like torn note paper, and I just added layers upon layers underneath that photo to really pop it up off the page and up off the mixed media. I am popping it up on some foam as well, just to allow some dimension on the page. It's pretty rare for me not to use foam. It is certainly a staple in my stash. I just buy it from Spotlight. It only costs about $5, I think, $5, and it lasts ages. Although I will say this latest lot does not stick very well because there is adhesive on there. They must have been a bad batch. And so I am having to put glue on both sides just to make sure that it is actually stuck down and safe once it goes into an album or in my box of layouts. As I was working through the layout, I thought about it started to need for me a border. Now, I don't always put borders on the page, but I really wanted to tie back and ground this page with that mixed media and the embellishments pieces just being in that center of the page. I felt that there was a bit too much white space, and I thought the best way to solve that would be to put a border around the cardstock. So I just cut off some of the edges around the white cardstock, and then cut out the center of that pattern paper as well, because I love it, and I wanted to make sure that I didn't waste that in any way. And I do glue that down. And I also ruffle up and distress the edges with my distress tool as well. I'm really now, as I'm building this together, starting to think it's going to get a little bit grungier as I move forward. So I've got some ideas in my mind going on. So when I'm planning some of my layouts, there are times when I do have an idea in mind, but this is one of those situations was all I had in my head was wanting to use that film strip, and I wanted to use the stencils, and that was pretty much as far as I went. So this layout really grew as it was progressing. I certainly didn't have any sort of preconceived ideas in my head. Not like my first layout of the month where I created that rainbow layout. I had a very clear picture in my mind as soon as I saw that patterned paper where I was heading, but certainly didn't have that for this one. And I love it both ways. I love how things grow, and then sometimes I love it that I've got an idea and I can actually get it down on paper. I did try at one point I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with the embellishing for this layout, and I sort of got a little bit stuck at one stage, and I did try to pull out and use the Pink Fresh floral ephemera, but it just didn't work. It was a little bit too, I want to say it was almost too pretty for the layout, and so I went with I had a few leftover fussy cut flowers from the Sweet Rush collection as well. So I just used those just at that bottom left-hand side of the photo. And I'm just wanting to create more of that point view at the right-hand side of my photo. So I added on that great tag, which is You Do You. And I thought that was really, really cute there. Then added on a flower at the end just to round that off a little bit. And I did add a tag there that says Do All the Things. This photo is a photo of my nephew Oliver holding a teddy bear. I am pretty sure the story behind this one is that was when he brought that teddy bear home from school and had to look after it for a week. I'm pretty sure that's what will end up being written on the back of this layout when I talk to my sister about what journaling needs to go on there. I also used some of the cardstock stickers for this one as well. You would have seen me, maybe you saw me pop down on the flower on the right hand side. I've popped in a Love This sticker just to make a little bit of a change up to that and alter that flower and just a little bit. And I also did the same with the center of the flower on the left hand side, which is a tag that says Good Stuff. And I really liked how that sort of was a cohesive match over to each flower on that as well. I also started to feel that it didn't have quite enough on the page. You know me, if you follow me regularly, I'm always talking about layers, and I really love having a little bit more texture on the page, and so I do use one of the larger, in just a moment, a larger of the flower at the top right hand side of that cardstock sticker sheet as well. And I do pop that in as a layer underneath the layer right there on the left hand side. I just felt that there was just a little bit too much showing of that mixed media, as even though I love it, I still wanted it to be a little bit more subtle underneath the florals there. So I've gone with a title today. I'm using a title from my stash. It's a packet of thickers that I have had forever. I have no idea where they came from, so sorry I can't actually tell you that. And I've just decided to call this one My Friend. I thought that was a bit of a cute sort of title for this one, seeing Oliver had to look after this precious little bear for a week at school. And then I've popped on some enamel dots just at the bottom there beside the title page there, which is the Pink Fresh enamel dots, and up on the top left-hand side as well. I really love that bulldog clip as well, which I tucked in at the top of the photo just to anchor that photo a little bit more to the page. And here is when I decided, yep, I'm going a little bit grungy, and I have got some Liquitex ink, and I've just watered that down just a little bit, and I have a fan brush, which I love. It makes the most gorgeous little tiny splatters. So I go to town on the layout, and I put lots and lots of splatters around the page, both at the top and the middle and the bottom left. And lots of black there. I also go in with all the splatters again with all of the colors of the inks that I've used. So I just popped that down, squished it down onto my mat, added a little bit of water, and used the fan brush as well, because I just wanted these to be subtle, not too wide and thick, if you can understand what I'm talking about there. So I really love how this one turned out. I've got a close-ups coming up for you shortly. And actually, I really love at the top left-hand side there, you'll see I put a little bit of water there. So it sort of turned those black splodges into a little bit more splodged across the page. And I really actually love that. Even though that was a mistake, I actually love how that turned out. As always, I want to thank you for joining me today. I will leave in the description box below a link to the store so you can check out this month's kit and find out how you can subscribe if you'd like to become a subscriber. Thanks for joining me today, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.